Trip talk, people. 3 topics in 3 minutes. We're going to do a somewhat extended version since we got so much free time after 9 o'clock now. We are in the overtime edition, as I like to affectionately call it. So, on that note, let's get to it, shall we? So, first topic on the deck. Drake made headlines, pun intended, this week about Billboard. Now, Billboard, he made some noise on Billboard because what happened was...
14 songs?
Yeah, 14. So basically, he had 14 songs chart simultaneously on the Billboard Hot 100.
Some features.
Yep, 4 of them were features, I believe. 10 of them were off, I believe, if you're reading this, is too late. And basically, he tied a record that was originally made by the Beatles, a record that they completed back in 1961. And all 14 of their hits were from each member of the Beatles, basically. So, when you see a record like this, like, what does that tell you about, you know, Drake's power within not just hip-hop, but music?
Man, hate him or love him, he's a genius.
Yeah.
And I've been saying to everybody's, oh, Drake's, it's always Drake, like this was bumping Drake. The craziest thing about this city, like you were saying before, is we hate on our own people. Like, it's so bad.
Yeah.
Like, Toronto's probably one of the hardest cities to come up with as an artist.
Yeah.
And it's terrible. Because, like, Drake's doing well, and he did well. Like, I've been rocking Drake since City Is Mine. I don't know if you remember that track.
Oh, trust me, I remember that
Some
track.
people don't know that track.
That was my college days.
Some people just hopped on Drake when he's recently, but when he made City Is Mine and, like, you know, all these other tracks, like, he was in Toronto, he was doing okay, but it wasn't until he left and then came back that he's hot. People, all the Toronto people that are good, they leave, get hot in the States, and then people hop on. It's like...
Well, it's 2 things, actually. One, because of the infrastructure in Toronto, like, it doesn't really have... It does have it, but it doesn't use it to its full potential to incubate its artists. Validation.
I agree.
Once again,
you need the U.S. to co-sign.
Exactly. We weren't, you know, riding his John, so to speak, when he was here doing replacement drill or what have you. But the minute Lil Wayne put him on tour, it's like, oh my God, Drake! I remember back in the day we used to chill at Forest Hill. Oh my God, Drake! Oh my God! Like, you know, that's how it always is all the time.
It's sad but true.
It's sad but true, yeah. And like me personally, I didn't know about Drake until Replacement Girl, actually, which is 07, which actually came out at the same time as City Is Mine, which is on comeback season. People were saying, oh, he's on the grass. I'm like, he's what? Yeah. Like, I didn't know about the grass at the time. I was really up on it.
You know him
like
as Drake.
Exactly. I didn't really get on him until a lot of people did, which was still far gone. Because I was having a tough time trying to go between the romantic singing and then the rapping. Yeah. And then I had to like really sink down and just kind of like absorb it. I'm like, okay. Right. I get it now. I get it. So my thing with Drake personally, first of all, congrats to him on that record because that's history. First of all, it's in hip hop, so we're winning. And then secondly, my thing with Drake, because he's at such a high mantle in hip hop, I expect the best out of him. Yeah. Views from the Six, his real album coming up, not if you're reading this is too late. Yeah. It has to be in the conversation of classic. It has to be because
if he undercuts this, it's
exactly people are going to
tarnish it.
It's going to tarnish it. It's almost like LeBron James when he hadn't won the ring up until going to Miami. It's like, when are you going to get it done? Yeah. Because up until now, we haven't had anything classic from him since So Far Gone.
We haven't had the Black Album.
We haven't.
Not a Black Album.
We have not even a Black Album at the very least. At the least, because we're supposed to have a Blueprint or Reasonable Doubts, you know. But we haven't at least had a Black Album from him. If we can at least get a Black Album from him in the form of Views from the Six.
What's your favorite album so far?
What from Drake?
From Drake. I personally go with Take Care.
That's a good question, actually.
That's for me personally, just because.
My personal criticism with all 3 of those albums, as much as I like them, my personal criticism with that is with Thank Me Later, I felt like it was rushed. Yeah. I felt like it was just a matter of let's get this person, that person feature on the biggest artist, new artist since 50 Cent. Yeah. And that album came out 6 months after he had signed his deal with Universal Republic. Yeah. So I felt like it was rushed. It wasn't his fault though, but nonetheless. Take Care, I feel like he really dumbed down as far as the rapping goes on it. There wasn't one rap song on there other than Lord Knows that I was like, yo, he's spitting that fire. Yeah. And that was largely due because it was Just Blaze on the beat. Like,
I'm not saying I like Take Care because it's rapping. I'm saying as a piece.
As a piece?
He definitely didn't rap along the album.
I felt like he spent a little too much time on the singing portion, but that's just me. Not that I'm down, not that I'm against that, but like, there needs to be an even balance.
Take Care came out when I was in Miami, so it was working for me.
Fair enough. Fair enough. It was shouts to K.O.L's girlfriend. And then with what's it called? With
clouds.
Nothing was the same. Yeah, there we go. I felt like conceptually that was his best project, but there were times where, again, when he did not give a damn to rap about something meaningful, like Worst Behavior. I couldn't deal with that.
Worse.
More from the Lotus.
You want to listen to my opinion?
What?
Quickly.
Yes.
The problem I have with Drake is, as successful as he is right now, his music is not timeless. And what I mean by that is, how many old Drake tracks do you still play?
I can understand that.
No, like seriously, like if you go through your iTunes, like how many times I'm gonna play this old Drake track. Like you still play Jay-Z's, you still play the Nas's, you still play the Fabs, you still play these guys' old tracks, you still play the old Kanye's, the Graduation. Like you play those tracks, you actually think in your head like, yo, I want to hear this track from Graduation. You go play it. But all the Drake's tracks, like they're hot. Like right now, there's freaking this album's so long. If you're reading this, it's too late. It's a stupid title too. But all these tracks, like they're hot. They have their buzz. The buzz is high, and then it's gonna die down. It's gonna die down, and that's it. And it's quiet, and we just wait till he makes the next thing. Like, and we push it aside, and you don't go back to it. And that's a problem for me personally.
I agree and disagree at the same time. I agree because, yes, he's making certain tracks to stay within the trend. But I disagree because of the company that you're naming just now. The Jay-Z's, the Nas's, the Kanye's. They have time on their side.
He's not in that.
He's only been within this new generation for about, let's say, 5 years now, roughly, the 2010s. He hasn't had that time to let that music marinate with the generation. Right. I'll say this, though. Kendrick has a leg up on him on that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'll bump Kendrick all the time.
2 classic albums under his belt already. I'm just saying. The next topic. Kid Rock made some headlines earlier this week when he made some comments regarding Beyonce. And of course, the Beyhive was not happy with this. So basically what happened was Kid Rock made some comments about how Beyonce is loved and adored by so many people, but she hasn't really done that much to gain that adoration, or the crazy amount of adoration, rather. So this is what Kid Rock said in regards to her. And I quote, Beyonce, to me, doesn't have an effing purple rain, but she's the biggest thing on earth. How can you be that big without at least one Sweet Home Alabama or an old-time rock and roll? People are like, Beyonce's hot. Got a nice effing ass. I'm like, cool. I like skinny white chicks with big tits. Doesn't really effing do much for me. And then, of course, the Beyhive went on his Instagram profile and just spammed him with like little bees and everything. The funny thing is he actually commented back with like a little spray can of like rain or whatever. So that was kind of funny. But when you hear something like that, like what's your take on that?
It's tough. It's tough because, but it goes hand in hand with what we were just talking about just now. Like you're saying, Drake doesn't have like something that sticks, right? Beyonce, she's very talented. She's hardworking. She's the husband of Jay-Z. I mean, husband. Sorry, wow. She's the wife. She's the wife of Jay-Z, and also a very successful person. So they're both the king and queen of hip hop, per se. If you want to call it.
Arguably, entertainment's biggest power couple right now.
Exactly. But they both rose to fame by growing together and individually at the same time. But I get what he's saying. I can agree with what he's saying because she does. You know when someone does a bunch of different things and they do it well, but they don't excel in any one thing. That's Beyonce.
Okay,
she can do a bunch of things very well. She can sing okay. She can dance okay. She can perform okay, like enough to succeed and enough to be on the stage and based on her lifestyle. But she's not like knock out the park any one thing. You know, at least Jay-Z has done that in his field, but she kind of had the outlet to do it based on her lifestyle, and it kind of just overcompensated. So she kind of getting more glory for mediocre work, right? At some points.
At some points, like she had the machine behind her heavily.
Exactly.
But she's not to take away like her talent and what she's done, whatever. Like she's done very well.
Absolutely.
But I somewhat agree with what Kid Rock is saying.
I just wouldn't agree with the way he delivered it in. But like he does have a point. Like he does. Like Beyonce, she does have some songs that you can remember from 10 years ago.
Yeah, but nothing
what have you.
sticks.
Exactly. It's not like yo, this isn't like Gladys Knight and the Pips, or this isn't like that record from Sam Cooke that made me feel a certain way. She may have one or two of those, but like it's not a very strong catalog. But again, it's like you said, she's doing this thing and that thing. That was the criticism with Jamie Foxx earlier in his career because he was a comedian, he was an actor, he was a singer as well too.
He's not devoted to one.
Exactly. None of that really took off for him until maybe like the mid 2000s when he came out with the Ray movie, and then the album that followed up after that, and then people started taking it more seriously in that regard. So I kind of agree, but I will say this though: the one thing that I feel like that drags down Beyonce is her fan base, her rabid fan base. They do more damage to her than they think. They overhype everything that she does to the point where it's like you want to hate Beyonce because they're hyping up every little thing. I was watching a Vine video one time, and there was a girl videotaping Beyonce as she was on the red carpet for, I think, the Grammys, and she was like clapping up people's hands to her, and all I heard in the background was like, "Oh my God, she's touching the people! Oh my God, she is queen!" What? I'm sorry, is she Aphrodite? Like, what? She's a human freaking being. What the hell?
They actually said touching the people.
Yes! Like she's a Virgin Mary.
Oh, man.
And she's just spraying the Holy Ghost onto everybody. What the hell?
That's funny.
It was insanity. Like, let her be her own. She's a woman. She's human.
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
It's beyond me. I can't stand the Beyhive. Yeah. Someone needs to, like, get a spray can of Radiance, blow that thing up, I swear.
But I mean...
Every celeb has that thing. To an extent.
Yeah, but that's too far, though.
Hey, man, you see, the Drake lovers, they'll die from that guy sometimes.
They will, but I've yet to hear someone saying, "He's touching the people!" Is she Mother Teresa? No!
Wait, but you know what? Because he hasn't got that king status, right? She received the queen status, right?
Yeah.
So that's why but it's still...
It's still overdone in my eyes.
It's ridiculous.
Wiz Khalifa made headlines this week because he made comments regarding his ex-wife, Amber Rose. Pardon me.
As usual.
As usual. But...
These people need to get their relationship off of social media.
They really... It's not even that. Just stop dating certain people that you know is going to be toxic. But anyways, let me get into this real quick. But I do agree nonetheless. I mean, sometimes it can't work on social media depending on how you handle it. But nonetheless, he made headlines because he mentioned her in a song. And of course, most rappers will do that.
Like recently?
Recently, yeah.
Oh.
So there's a record called For Everybody, and it's Juicy J featuring Wiz Khalifa. And in the record, he subliminally gets at her by saying the following, and I quote, "Man, I fell in love with a stripper. Funny thing is, I fell back out of love quicker." And then he proceeds to say, and I quote, "Bottles be turning these girls into thoughts. Instagram turning these wives into hoes." Now, my thing is this.
That's your baby mom.
Not only that, but bigger picture, you knew this girl was an ex-stripper before you married her. You knew she was Kanye West's dirty little sex slave before you married her. So why are you dissing her now that things haven't gone good all about a week ago?
Like, this isn't a surprise.
It's like that guy who gets mad at everybody on the football team because he's dating the girl that ran through trains for every man in the locker room. And it's like, bruh, you knew she was a pass around team.
Yeah.
You knew.
You walked into this.
Of course. What's your take on this, man?
It's all about publicity, man.
And it's a sad thing in this society that we have that people are doing things for ratings.
Yeah,
This is what kills me about social media, and like even it's tried to connect us with celebrities.
Yes,
like try and take that division and that line away from stardom and
the blurred lines
and normal that you can comment, maybe Wiz Khalifa will comment back kind of thing.
Yeah,
but you don't like my cell phone right here.
Yes,
right. Okay, I can go on social media. Right? I can go on Twitter right now and bash all my exes and say this and that, say this and that.
Yeah.
And in the same breath, be texting them, saying I love you and come over.
Right?
Like, so you can't believe the hype, as cliche as that is. Like, he'll make a track, he knows we're going to talk about it. Oh, this guy, this is, oh, blah. You don't know if he's texting her like, I miss you, like, can I come see, like, you'll never know. And they say there's three sides to every truth, right?
Yeah.
There's your side, there's my side, there's the truth. Three sides to every story, sorry.
Yeah.
And him I just ignore all that stuff now, because, like, it's like the news, man. The news, they post what they want you to see.
Exactly.
While this is going on over here, they distract you with this.
Exactly. Is it just blue or is it gold?
Oh my God. Don't even, hey, first of all, I don't want to even talk about that.
No.
It's the fact that it's getting so much publicity is pissing me off. But I have to. Yeah, I know you saw it. What did you see?
I don't even want to be talking about this, but I'm just curious because what did you see?
Okay, I'm gonna set the record straight. When this broke, like last week at midnight or whatever time it was, I chose not to speak of it. I was not going to give it my power at all. At all.
I agree.
But because you're asking me, I'm happy to oblige.
Yeah. What did you see?
I saw white and gold.
So did I.
Yeah. And then if you take a picture, obviously the color's going to change slightly.
Hey, man. The strange thing is that my dad's my boy. Like, my dad's my homie.
Yeah.
And I was like, Dad, I see white and gold. I just want it between me and him. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
I know if he says something that it's cool. I go up to him for backup. He goes black and blue. I almost broke my phone, dog.
Hey.
I was like, you don't see black and blue? He's like, what do you see? I'm like, white and gold. He's like, no, it's black and blue. And I had to go to my room. I was like, I can't talk to you right now.
You can't. You just can't.
It turns out it was black and blue. I don't know. That's not what I see. I don't know.
On a side note, rest in peace Trayvon Martin, because that was the distraction that was distracting us from what was going on that day in particular. And as far as Wiz and Amber go, like you were saying, how media only the news only wants us to see what they want us to see. I agree. You know, ironically coming from me as well too, right? Because technically I am the media with the show, what have you. And it's a golden rule, or fact rather, that media constructs reality. Whatever you see, whatever is oriented towards you, is what you have to believe, because what other source are you going to get it from?
Right.
You know, Fox News will tell you that Obama is Muslim, while CNN will tell you that he is doing so much for diversity. So again, it's three sides to every story, like you said, right? There's one side, that side, and then the truth at the end of the day. So it is what it is.
You can make a track of brother and the other house.
Exactly.
Exactly. We're not with him, man. Like he could have released that track and be like, yo, babe, I'm about to release this track. Just don't trip.
Exactly.
Like, he could easily have done that.
Yeah.
And should be like, boys don't do that. You'd be like, just relax.
Exactly.
Man. Yeah.
It is what it is. I'm not reading into it at all. I was going to give him the wankster this week because it's stupid when you knew she was, you know, doing all sorts of nasty stuff, but it is what it is.